Now that I have saved some money to build my dream home, I'm really confused about which estate company to approach. My friend had a bad experience with a particular estate agency after completing his payment and could not even get his title deed. This is serious.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Thank you.
My name is Oli. I'm from GDC Investments.
Understood.
Thank you.
You know, I must say you came at a very right time.
Really?
I was thinking about houses.
Great.
What can your company offer me?
EJ Investments can offer you a lot. We're unique in the market.
Okay.
We own our properties and we ensure that they're developed with modern technologies. They're affordable and they are strategic locations. We don't just sell pieces of land, but we create settlements.
What makes your company different from others?
We're different from all real estate companies in the Gambia because what we have to offer is affordability, safety, and security. We ensure that you get a legal contract from when you pay your deposit, and within 4 weeks of paying your final settlement, we make sure you receive your title deed.
4 weeks?
4 weeks.
That's interesting.
Yes. Now tell me, what real estate serves your needs?
It's absolutely EJ Investment and Real Estate Agency.
And welcome to this special interview with Kerr Fatou. I'm Mustafa Kedabo, and our special guest this day it's Mr. Yusupha Jaiteh. Until today, Mr. Jaiteh was the deputy party leader for the Gambia Democratic Congress, and it's made headlines just yesterday when his resignation has been announced, and he's here with us to tell us his rationale behind his resignation. Mr. Jaiteh, welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dabo. I'm really appreciative of your time and your group of network as well. I'm really grateful.
You've been an influential member to a party that, until recently, it's being regarded as Gambia's second most influential party, opposition party. Why did you resign? What influenced your decision to resign?
Mr. Dabo, it's been a very difficult task. I take up this decision, and it was very, very difficult. It took me close to a year and a half to decide on this issue. I never wanted to because, like one would say, I hate betraying people that I've entrusted my life with. But unfortunately, you know, there are some abnormalities that warranted to my resignation. And I think I was either wasting my time or wasting the party's time. That's why I decided and took up this fast decision when I've had so many rumors, so many talk and chit-chats over issues that are not true, that I'm leaving, I'm about to set up my own party. This is what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing, which is basically not true. But I just said, you know what, I mean, it could be a reason. There could be a reason to that.
I mean, you said it seemed as if you were wasting your time within this past 1 year, 6 months, but you were still in the party. I mean, a lot of people would think you were part of a movement that was becoming a huge political force in the domestic politics. Why did you think you were? It appears to you were wasting your time.
Well, I was not part of GDC for position or to be recognized as a figure, but I was part of it to make history and to be part of a legacy that will go into history, that our great-grandchildren will talk about. But with my concept and ideology of being part of the GDC, were all shattered due to some abnormalities, like I said. And I never, ever in my life wanted to quit the GDC. Never. Because it's a party that I love, and it's a party that I built. I think if I were not the first three people that started the party, I would be the first two, and that is either myself, Honorable Mama Kande, and his younger brother Ablai. Um, but unfortunately, if I'm coming to the stage and withdrawing, I'm doing it with a very heavy heart because it was not my intention to.
But could you share a reason as to why you may have that may have pushed you to that to making a decision that you do not want to make or you've hesitated to make?
Well, actually, Mr. Dabo, I've been part of the GDC, and like I said, I've told for the first interviewer who did his interview with me, I told him I will not feel comfortable exposing the realities, but I can just give you a glimpse of one or two of the reasons. I am I'm an IT consultant, and I do consultancy for a series of firms in and out of the country, and I know how professional I am in my area of expertise, and how appreciative of those people I deal with. If I would join a political party, and I think I know a lot about politics, and I think I know a lot about politics, and in the beginning, I was a hero, but in the latter part, there were so many rumors, or Yusupha is trying to set up a party, and it's coming from the toppest of the party, and I discover I've been sidelined. I've not been informed about meetings. I've not been informed about anything. You take decision, they come and say you don't have the right to take up a decision. Come on, where am I? Then I'm not part of a group that I know myself to be in, because I am a person that respect leadership, because I myself am a leader in different aspect. So if I respect leadership and I don't see leader in front of me, I instead see a boss, then that's where the big problem lies. And I think these are one of the reasons that I could just cope out and say I've frustrated and warranted me to say, you know what, is I'm wasting so much time.
From your previous answers, it would seem as if your motivation to resign was pegged on two major issues. One, you felt betrayed because some top members of the party are claiming you want to set up a political party, and they are not, because of that, talking to you about issues within the party. And two, you feel like the leadership of the party is acting too bossy, if you like.
Yeah, these are one or two of the issues why I can freely share with you, but there are a lot more, a lot more. I mean, I wouldn't want to buttress on those issues because I don't I hate leaving a group and tarnishing the image of the group. It it doesn't tell well, really. To be quite honest, it doesn't tell well. It's gonna act like I am I am I'm a betrayer, and I don't want to be a betrayer to anybody, because I feel that I'm a honest person that will deal with anybody honestly and leave honorably. So there's a reason why I'm not saying much. But to be quite honest, there are more of those things that I can just give you an example. I mean, um, of my wife. She got angry because somebody hurt her amongst us, the executive. But because the person hurt her and she complained that she's hurt, she's been hurt by someone, what is happening? Somebody have the audacity to say she should not even attend our panel of debate because she said she's angry. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, if one would claim to know politics, if she's angry about something, that is, I am angry because Mr. X has offended me, that doesn't mean that she should no more be part of the GDC. I mean, in reality, in fact, there is a saying that goes in politics: there is no permanent enemy, but common interest. So if such people, such a person, or such a caliber of person can claim to know politics and downgrade my wife to that level, and then they want me to force my wife, whether she likes it or not, to follow me with the GDC. Come on, it's a joke. It doesn't make sense. To me, I will never do that because it's very unprofessional, it's very unethical. If my wife is angry with an executive member, I think if the executive know about it, they should get up and make sure that it's sorted out. But not to abandon her. She did more than I've done in the GDC. So, because she was very active when everybody was so scared to get out. And she was part of the caravan. She's the only person who would stand on top of that caravan vehicle and dare speak about Yahya Jammeh. She would be the only person who would be on top of that caravan who would dare say things about Yahya Jammeh. So if they don't want her anymore, then who is there that they will need anymore? And it's not from the junior ones, but the toppest of all. It's sad. But I think we need to know our priorities, and we need to get our priorities right. And I think it's so sad. It's disheartening. I never wanted to be in this position with the GDC. But to be quite honest, I've got a lot. I've got a lot more, which, to be quite honest, it's not necessary.
It seems to me that what you are talking about, it's an issue of leadership, leadership crisis, as it were. You were a deputy party leader. Why didn't you design ways to sort of find ways to influence the party to vote out its leadership and get new leadership that will steer the party in the right direction instead of leaving?
No, I mean, GDC belongs to an individual. That's why I am out for forming a party that belongs to everybody. We always say at the GDC, there is a party that belongs to everybody. It's a joke. Even me, myself, as the deputy party leader, I cannot decide in the absence of an individual. How is that party how is that party mine? How can it be mine? Impossible.
But it does have an executive, doesn't it? That could sit over issues and decide.
Of course it does. But how powerful are they? They're not powerful, my brother. They don't even know. They don't even know what it is when it comes to decision making. Because whenever you discuss about issues, ideas are put forward, somebody has to wait for, we have to wait for an individual to come and say yes or no. So
that individual is the leader of the party.
Well, I don't want to go into details. Like I said, I mean, I'm not angry with anybody. But professionally, I wish them well. And wishing them well also, I wish them upgrade because it is one, it's unprofessional. It's so whatever word I'm going to use might look nasty, but I don't want to use those words. I would just say it's very unprofessional of the way they behave. If anybody is on the other side of the fence, he's not a good person. If you say the truth, you're not a good person. Then I think GDC needs to buckle up. They need to buckle up, and buckling up meaning that they have to do something to make it work.
One argument that has been made on the social media, and I mean that even reasonable commentators who have followed this issue are making, is that why did it take you 2 years to realize this?
Because I was very hopeful. I was still hopeful that it was all going to be, it was all going to come to an end. Because when we started losing support, I said they will realize the mistakes and adopt. But the problem is, we have people within our midst who are very proud. Pride is killing the leadership. And like the Wolof would say, mbahana lim feto ko dafa oyof. Su disoon kenn du ko antal. And that is you wearing your hat because it's easy to carry. If it were heavy, you will never leave it there for even 30 minutes. This is the problem with the leadership of GDC. Pride is killing that party. And I believe pride is going to take GDC down the drain if the leadership don't buckle up. And I mean if they don't buckle up. I think fooling yourself is no better than sitting there, going to people that are not voting for you. You see them in crowd, in large numbers, following you, and you think you're growing. No. Even within the executive, we're not seeing good known Gambians who are joining the executive. If you see any good Gambian that will come and pip in to be fussy, when he pips in, the next hour he's off. He will never want to come back. Why? We have to revisit those things. But it's unfortunate when you as a technocrat, you look at things at your own perspective, your own point of view. You try to put it on the table for a proper access and acceptance for review. Your time as an enemy, I don't see it going forward.
You've talked about the party losing. Could it be that you've seen that the party's popularity is going down, and not necessarily the problems you are talking about, but the party's popularity is going down, and you don't, like a sinking ship, you just jump and quit?
No. I don't quit that easy. I don't quit. I was once a member of the UDP, and I was very, very strong in the UDP, and I love UDP. I still love UDP, and I still wish them well. What I would tell you is I was part of the UDP when APRC used to send delegation to me to get me on board, and I knew I was gonna get a lot from them if I would have followed them. Because I've seen some of my friends who went into APRC, and they're buoyant now. I never went into that. I'm not interested in that. What I was interested is in making a history of reality. It's unfortunate my way of thinking was completely different from the way that my other colleagues are thinking. And with me, I only have one belief, that I will always need people. And as much as I need them, I have to respect them. I have to respect their opinion. That's why I was the easiest I was the most easygoing person among the GDC executive, if they would tell you the truth. I'm never bossy. I'm never looking at myself like a king or president or vice president. I'm looking at myself as an ordinary individual who is as low as the lowest. So I'm not. It wasn't about going down. It is because GDC has been given chance. Its executive has been given chance to take the right track, which they never wanted to, and instead it's causing a lot of trouble. I decide before there is more trouble, unnecessary trouble, I better quit.
Now, if you had been given the opportunity, let's suppose a situation where the leadership, as you said, would have been more welcoming, and you were given an opportunity to suggest reforms. What would you have told the GDC leadership? What would you have suggested they change?
The way they accommodate people, the way they welcome people, the way they relate with people, the way they manage their funds.
Manage their funds, but there are close to 200,000 GDC supporters, as it were. I mean, based on the evidences of past elections, supporters.
Of course, yes.
So what would you
GDC.
find arguing to say they don't accommodate people?
No, no, no. What I mean, when people who are there are not respected and handled with care and respect, how do you expect others who are coming in to feel fit in the system? No. They will say, hey, you know what? This is not the right place. Like the Wolof will say, if you do demokai.
You've touched on the issue of management and funds. I mean, you're not the first high-profile person who have either left the GDC or has been expelled. Actually, claim he left, even though GDC said he has been expelled. Then Mr. Papanjai Grigara left afterwards. He also issued a press statement saying things that he did not necessarily agree with the party, but that had happened. Um, you also left. And one highlight of all your decisions to leave has one key individual at the center of it, and that's the leadership. Do you think the problem of GDC is the leadership?
No, actually, if you would realize I'm dodging leadership issue because I mean people might feel, oh, this guy he had problems with leadership. Maybe he wanted to be the leader. I'm not interested. I was never interested, and I'll tell you, I'll make it very clear. I've said it and they didn't believe me. I said I don't want to be a vice president to the GDC government. I don't want to be a minister, neither a permanent secretary. What I wanted to be is a person that will be part of the legacy in changing a government that was not good for Gambians, because I'm a fighter. I fight to the core. You get my point? But not about leadership issue. I was never interested. In fact, I could remember there was a time when I was not there. I had somebody, during their meeting, there was an order given to them that they should not call me vice president. Who cares?
Vice president of the party.
Yeah, who cares about being vice president of who? I want to be a vice president of a leader, not a vice president of a boss, because I'm not a boss. I'm a leader. You know me, I'm a leader. I want to be a vice president of a leader.
But while you may not want to be a leader, you certainly have an issue with the leadership, because that's been one of the highlights of your.
No, even this new party that I'm forming, that we're setting up now, I told them I don't want to be a leader. I don't want to be the vice president. I don't want to be a minister. I don't want to be presidential candidate. I don't want to be anything. All I want is to set up the party and get it going. Finish.
We will come to your new party. I think I will keep you for a little longer. But talk to us about the issue of transparency you've talked about. You made mention briefly that one of the problems is the issue of transparency in the management of funds. Could you tell us about that?
Well, there's one thing. I think GDC has been spending lots of money in the tunes of millions. But if you go into the of dollars, if you go into the accounts of GDC, there is nothing of that sort in the account of GDC. GDC has spent millions of dollars, huh? Millions of dollars, and those millions that he has spent, there is nothing of that sort in the account of GDC party.
So what does that suggest?
It's coming from an individual, which means it's a brisk. We're calling it a briefcase party, because I can remember, we're criticizing. There are some parties that we criticize and we call them NGOs. We call those parties NGOs. Fine, they're NGOs. Those parties are NGOs. It's true, but we are a briefcase party as well.
You feel like the mobilization of funds by the GDC executive is done by the party leadership, but not put into the account. Is that what you're saying?
Like, I don't want to go into details, if I would be very clear with you, because this is not the right time to do that, because I'm forming my own party, and I want to set an example.
But you might tell us who has access to these funds. You are deputy party leader. You're certainly the second most powerful person in the party.
Just by word of mouth, because if you say most powerful, I mean, every day I'm being threatened by some of them that we're going on Congress. We're going to change the executive. What is that? Come on, I don't have time for that. It's just that they don't know me, and they don't know what is in my heart. There are people who are suffering more than I do, and they will never ever leave.
So, but who has access to the funds then, if you don't?
Well, they're there. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to go into details because I don't even know.
You don't even know who has access to it.
I don't know.
Do you know how the party mobilized funds then?
I don't know.
So you don't know how funds are mobilized, who the sponsors are, and how the funds is disbursed as well.
I don't know about disbursement. From time now and again, I might see the party leader give money to the accounts guy for maybe when we're having our tours. But I don't know where he's coming from. I don't know who's giving it out. I don't know anything.
Is there a system in place to audit the books?
There are very fine young people in GDC that are very good at what they do, because the auditor is a fine young man, professional. But I don't think whether he's been given power even to do such a thing. I don't think so. Who knows? It could be, but I don't think so.
When you were at the party, there were other people who fell out with the GDC. Major of them, I think, would be Bacheli, but even Girigara left you there. But Bacheli as well fell out with the party when you were there. He made certain allegations about the issue of transparency within the party, but you stayed. One would wonder, why did you stay that this long until now, after discovering all these issues?
I have a belief. When one is part of a system, all that you will believe is, I'm part of the system, and my influence might be able to have it work properly. or my influence might be able to get it work. I had the feeling with my capacity, I will be able to change what is wrong. But unfortunately, with all the powers that I have, I am not able to change anything. Instead, I'm being distant. There has been distant. They have distanced me from everything. So what do you expect? I just have to keep my distance and be quiet. But in reality, I wanted to change, and I've even raised it a couple of times. But when I said it the first time, it created a fight. When I say it the second time,
What did you say, and to whom did you say it?
to the executive,
What did you say?
that funds, the way it's been spent and the way it's coming in and out, it's not the way it should. This is very unprofessional. I don't want to work in this environment. It's making me go crazy. I'm not interested in the money. Believe me, my brother. Come on. I saw somebody made a comment on Facebook that he's setting up his party also to make his own money. Come on. He'll be surprised to know who am I.
But when we talked about setting up a political party, you've actually uh, one may think that perhaps you have a problem with GDC because even before you left, you had decided to set up a political party. And that suggests you are leaving. I mean, even before you leave.
No, actually, I wanted to leave GDC a few months ago. But I was still giving chance because there was this Manjang, who is our campaign manager. He was always hopeful and would always tell me, "Sir, let's wait. Please, let's give chance. Let's give chance." I said, "Manjang, Golo Dubai Tobub 10, like the Wolof would say. It will not change. We will try, but it will not change." He insisted. But when the Manjang, got fed up, he has no choice. He said, "Sir, I was stopping you, but I cannot stop you anymore." I said, "Thank God. I'm doing it this day." When I said I'm resigning on Saturday, they all said, "Oh, okay, we were all waiting for you. God bless. We're resigning also." They all resigned. But I wanted to resign very early, very earlier than today. You know, my brother, there are so many things, so many.
But there are some who also said that you had resigned because a decision to also expel you was probably on the way.
Wow. What have I done to have warranted that? Because I'm being straightforward. That's why I told you there is insecurity. Why would you expel somebody who is doing nothing bad? When I go on tour, I spend my own money. I spend my own money when I go on tour. The hotels I sleep, I spend it with all my security personnel. I give them food, I give them accommodation, I give them everything. How on earth would you just be happy to expel a person like that? Then where is the truth in that party?
So, what is this party that you want to form, and what do you seek to?
Would be a mind blowing and a change to Gambian politics.
But what do you seek to change that you could not do at the GDC?
If I would be very happy, I would not even want to talk about GDC's issue anymore. It should be a done deal. What I'm going to do, you know, time will tell. I'm tactical and I'm technical. I know myself. And we know what we're coming up with. And we're going to change the dynamics of politics in Gambia. We are not afraid of technocrats. We are not afraid of intellectuals. We in the new party are not afraid of educated people because we're all educated. You know, we are all, you look, in our new party, There are two computer engineers in the party. You have civil engineer, you have environmentalists, you have so many different sectors, and everybody is so comfortable in his position that he's not finding himself, he's not finding his opponent as a threat. If you would hear what is coming from others, that come on, I wish I knew when they were going to expel me. I would have stayed that long. I would have stayed that long because I had something of that sort. That's why I even stayed more longer. Because they said this since last year. Because there was a meeting that one of them said, "Oh, Mr. Jaiteh should chair this group," and somebody stood up and said, "No, he's not part. He's no more part of us." From that day, I was very happy. I was eager to hear it from them that I am out.
At the time, you were deputy party leader.
I've always been the deputy party leader, and I never fought for it. If they're going to throw me out, it's then okay. Is their unprofessional thing? That's why. Because I was when they were choosing me to be a deputy party leader, I was not there, and it was unanimous. So why on earth would they say they were planning in dismissing me? Why? Did they tell you what have I done wrong? They cannot. I am putting my hand up. I can bet you nobody in that party can tell you that I've stole one single $5 from the party. I've never had it, so how can I even steal? I've never seen it. How can I steal it? Nobody has ever given me anything that I took from that party. Never.
But may I put this to you? Because if you are in a party and you are the deputy party leader, which means you are, by virtue of responsibility, culpable when the party takes any direction. Don't you think you should not have run away from your own problem? You should have stand to fix it.
I've done that a couple of times. But instead, it's not bringing peace. It was bringing fight. It was bringing in fights, and I don't want fights. I want to work in a harmonious way with people that I feel should respect and love each other. But I don't want to work with people that are insecure, that feel threatened by me. You get my point? So, to be quite honest, I've tried my best.
We were talking about the issue of transparency, and I said, were there any time when you have talked about, when you have suggested reforms in the way funds were being managed, and what was the reaction?
Well, I could remember it was a day when the accountant was being shouted at, and I was very annoyed. Yeah, I don't want to go into detail, and I was very disgruntled. I was very angry, and I stood up. I said, "Hey, you know what, guys? Let's respect each other. If you're shouting on this guy, you should respect him. Where is the responsibility that you've given him to handle funds? You just shout on him when you take out the money from your pocket and put it on the table and said spend it on ABCD. He's not controlling the funds. Then he's been disbursed already. The only time that you can shout on him is when the funds are in the account and he takes them out, give it to the wrong people for the wrong thing. But for now, you cannot. It was a big fight that day. It was. Oh, I was nearly beaten. So, I laughed over it because it was funny. The whole reaction was funny. But, I knew there are few people who know money, who know what money is all about. When they see money, they are okay. They are natural people. But there are people who don't know about money. When they see money, they are crazy. They go haywire. So because I live within the environment of different type of people, I should understand them, whether I like it or not.
When you had left with 7 others who are seen to be quite influential in some ways within the party, there are people who think that this could cost the party a lot in terms of its support base. Do you feel you are influential within the support base of the GDC?
Of course, yes. Because, some of them, I remember some of them saying, this guy, he cannot even bring his own wife. Because they want me to squeeze my wife's arms, and squeeze her neck and say whether you've been insulted, you've been thrown out, you have to come by force. I will not do that. I'm a Democrat. And I mean, when I say Democrat, I'm a Democrat. A Democrat is a person who accepts his daughter and son and whatever, wherever you want to be, you be. I live in a town where people are very, very, very difficult to handle. You have to convince them politically, morally, emotionally before they could answer to you. And I was on the right track. And if you look at our records from the presidential to date, what we were getting from Bakau was very good from presidential. But when I'm being neglected and I withdrew, I was not talking about GDC anymore. Look at the impact. That can tell you whether I was making a difference or not. Not only here, I'm making a huge difference in Banjul as well. But thank God, I mean, it's just not too easy to tell people that you're influential. But as time goes on, we will know.
So, based on these events, I mean, your resignation, Mr. Manjan's resignation, and others, where do you see GDC heading? I mean, you know this party, you know where their support, their strength and weaknesses are. What do you think is becoming of the party? I mean, in terms of its support.
No, let them do the best things that they always neglect. And let them stop speculating. And let some of them also stop gossiping about realities. Whatever you say, they say, oh no, don't worry, they will come. People will never come to you. You need them, you better go after them. And if they still continue with their mentality and their old ideology, which is just, let's just wait, they will come. I feel sorry. They won't see anybody.
But I mean, if you said JDC's belief or concept is to wait for people to come, I mean, we've seen a lot of boreholes and money being splashed, I mean, by the leadership in a lot of communities. I think that is going after people, isn't it?
What impact has that borehole made? If I were to just put up 2 boreholes, the impact it will make in this politics of this country would be huge. Not to talk of how many boreholes. What impact? Are you talking about it? Is the media talking about it? Sometimes, I'm sorry, sometimes you might have an individual who might be an eye-catching, who can create a big image in the party, and you look down upon the person. You think you alone can do it. And whatever you do, people don't care. Revisit yourself.
So you think that a lot of those monies that were spent on building up, of boreholes and of small, of drainage systems and, sponsoring of community activities by the GDC were not working?
I mean, people are not appreciating it the way they should. And you're in the media, you should know better.
Have you suggested any changes? I mean, in terms of...
No, how can I, if my ideas are nothing? My ideas were not needed, so why should I bother myself? I don't have time.
A lot of people have said when during the lead up to the parliamentary election, we've seen a lot of money was spent by GDC. They contested all the seats. But you have people you were challenging with APRC spend far less money. They put up far less candidates. NRP spends far less money. They put up far less candidates, I think 27. Yet they have all five seats in the National Assembly. A lot of people came out to say, "Oh, this spending was not right. It was not strategically done." Do you agree? And you were the deputy party leader at the time.
100%. I was never consulted for that. I was never. I was never consulted, and the advice I gave them about building up, having the party stronger, helping to win better seats and more seats. My recommendation was never taken into consideration. So why should I bother myself? I've got so many other things to take care of. So many other things. Like I said, I'm an IT consultant. Okay, I'm the consultant for Site Savers, which is the biggest NGO, one of the biggest in the world. And the Queen is our guest of honor. I've got so many things to take care of. I don't have to waste my time in telling somebody this is the right way, and the person is giving a deaf ear. I don't have the time. And I don't have the time to fight over it. I have so many other things to take care of, my brother.
Do you believe in spending money on your support base to strengthen it, as it were? I mean, that's what the GDC also think they were doing.
No, the support base, balanga lah, all of the Wolof said, balanga lah jai, nga jai lah leka. You have people in your own house. They've not left fish money. Your executive, they've not left fish money at home. They're wearing tall shirts. And you spend it lavishly? My brother, there's so many things.
Finally, we've kept you for too long, but we would be grateful if you could tell us who in GDC is in custody of your funds.
Like I told you initially, I don't know. And up to this minute, I don't know.
You don't know who is in the custody?
No.
You don't know how they are being mobilized as well?
I don't know either.
And you are not consulted on how it ought to be spent?
Never. I wish I was.
You've never said this is not normal?
Of course I did. That is what warranted all this rumor of me being they will expel me and what not. That's it. That's the only thing they felt that I've done bad. There's one thing I'll tell you. I mean, with my own point of view, in GDC, there are a lot of good spokesperson, but there are no good politicians. Because the reason why I say there are no good politicians within the GDC, when somebody has done something, whether you're sure or not, you tend to make it an issue. You tend to make that very individual's topic as an issue to the extent of trying to demoralize the person and throw him out of the party. Then GDC ought to know better about politics. Need to learn a lot. A lot of people have given a step back because of an attitude like that. They need to buckle up. They need to buckle up. They need to buckle up.
We've kept you for very long, and now all of us are kind of tired. But we want to ask you just one or two questions, which is regards to the future of the party, and also a general question on how you see the trajectory of Gambian politics. But first, let's have a final question on the GDC. With the sort of what you have seen in the politics of the party, do you see it progressing as a party that could be a potential producer of Gambia's next president, or a party that is dying?
There is a Nigerian friend of mine that came here. He's been here during the campaign period, election, setting up GDC and all whatnot. has been proposing so many things to me. He's been very influential in Nigerian politics. And all the things he suggested to me, he proposed it to me. I told him, look, these are very fine ideas. If I were the one with the funds, I would do it. But unfortunately, I'm not the one. And even the idea would not be understood by the people that I deal with. It's so unfortunate. He said, what? I said, yeah. He said, Mr. Jaiteh, this is not the party that you should be with. I said, why? He said, come on, if these people cannot understand ideas like this, then they are not politicians and they are not prepared for it. And what happened? When that guy told me that day, I knew what he was saying, but I don't want to accept it because I thought I could make a change. But GDC has got a long way to go. And after the elections, he came to me. He said, Mr. Jaiteh, you know what? Do you look at the dynamics and the entire nitty-gritty? I said, yes. We sat down. He analyzed, I analyzed. He said, your analyses are very good. He said, but I'm surprised. You have all this thing in your head. And your people not listening to you? I said, come on, my friend. I'll invite you in one of our meetings. He came to one of our meetings. My goodness, he walked out. And he came back 2 days after. He said, Mr. Jaiteh, your party will be making leaders, other parties to win, but they will never win. I was very angry. But I knew what he was saying is the truth because there are some clauses that he pinpointed. And that's the truth.
In other words, you will be helping other parties make leaders.
We'll be making leaders from other parties, but our party will never lead. Because what we believe in is totally a different ideology in politics. Totally different.
But if you tell me that the ideas that you have will not necessarily be understood by the party leadership, are you suggesting that they don't have the intellectual wherewithal, if you like, to conceive those ideas? I mean,
you know, there is a guy by the name Pate Jallo who's in the party, who's among us. There's a guy who would appreciate ideas of this kind. And when he appreciates it, I revisit his background and I discover a lot of intelligence in him. But there are some other guys, they think they know it all, but they know nothing. And I don't want to go into that because then I might hurt a lot of people. But that even includes myself. They need to revisit the system. They need to do what is right to get the party going. If not, they will spend a long time being part of a party that will not grow, but will retreat.
tell us about a general view on trajectory of Gambian politics, and I mean how GDC also was contributing to the, greater development of our democracy.
You know, GDC was positively doing something that is by encouraging Gambians to go on the right, to get into the right track and changing the dynamics of Gambian politics. Also encouraging Gambians that a president can be removed through the ballot box. That is something that we were able to achieve with a lot of tactics. And if GDC executive would remember the tactics that brought GDC to that level, then GDC should be very smart, I mean very smart, to have accepted those tactics and techniques to govern the GDC to the presidency. But if you go to a point where you are able to get intelligent people to be very tactical, and at the end of the day, those individuals are not respected, you think it's because of your nice looking face that is giving you that, then you're making a big mistake. And with that, they have to change that and get into the awareness of the day. Gambia is for change for good. But there is one thing also. If this government don't hold fast to that, it might change to the worse, and that will be very detrimental for this presidency and the government and whatever you call it, because people already have got the mentality this can happen, and they already welcome it, and they're comfortable with it, but they are helping other young breeds to adopt something new that wouldn't be good for them,
Which is?
because it will render the country ungovernable. That is just letting people do whatever they want. Because people misinterpret what democracy is all about. And I don't blame them, because from 1994, Yahya Jammeh changed the dimension of the politics of this country, where he always tells people, if you want to come to my rally and your mother stops you, tell me. I'll discipline them. I'll take them to my 5-star. I'll do this. So kids were getting rude. And those kids that are getting rude are the voters now. Now we were able to change something in them. This government should help continue change it for the best. Then they will have the best Gambia.
You think Gambia needs reorientation?
Reorientation, yes. Yes.
But people like you, one may argue, should play a role in that, because you are also a political figure.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I've seen so many better people. I saw a gentleman by the name Bakari Baji, who's a very good friend of my wife. I mean, these are people who are very good. They deal with youths, and they know the concept and the mentality, and the people that have been part of the youth parliament. I embrace these people. I wish I can have all of them in my meets, because you know why? There is an influential group that needs to be set up within the youths that other youths will look up onto. And, that's why I said our own political dimension will change. And it will make Gambians be proud of being Gambians. It will make Gambians be proud of being Gambians. Inshallah.
All right.
We've held you for too long for now, and then we have to say bye for now, and then maybe with time we would have Mr. Jaiteh on our platform at a different time to discuss the establishment of his new political party, the offers he has for the Gambian people, and how he think this could lead into the creation of a better Gambia, a Gambia that everybody wants to see. So that's the time we have for this gentleman here, who was the deputy leader of the Gambia Democratic Congress, left about 2 days ago, and now he's planning to set up his own political party. So, Mr. Jaiteh, if you have some few words.
Yeah, I'll just have to thank Kerr Fatou, and I'm very grateful, and I'm grateful to Kerr Fatou as well. The only thing I'll have to tell my fellow Gambians is we are coming in grand style, and this is a formation of myself, Yusupha Jaiteh, Anthony Tabal, and Adama Manjang, and few other guys that are within the background, very good intellectuals that are presentable, that if people see them would be very hopeful would be very, very, very hopeful. And when we come out, Gambians will be very happy to see a party with a difference.
You cannot say
Inshallah.
when that when is.
Very soon. Very soon. We're already we're doing our forms. Very soon. Very soon we'll set up, inshallah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so very much as well.